You know, in the electric vehicle world, stock prices are a wild ride. But every now and then you see a move that's so big, so sudden, you just have to stop and ask, what is really going on here? Today, we're going to dig into a massive one-day surge for Rivian because it tells us so much about the huge bet that investors are making on its future.
All right, let's just put the number right out there. We're talking about Rivian's stock exploding by over 26% in a single day. Look, a jump like that isn't just random market noise. It's a massive signal. So the billion-dollar question is, what on earth happened to get Wall Street that excited?
Well, at first glance, the answer seems pretty straightforward. Rivian reported its fourth quarter numbers for 2025, and hey, they beat expectations. They lost a couple of cents less per share than Wall Street was bracing for, and they pulled in a little more revenue than predicted. A classic case of an earnings beat, right? Case closed? Not even close.
And this is where the plot really thickens. Because yeah, they beat the forecast for the quarter. But, and this is a big but, their actual revenue was down almost 26% compared to the very same quarter last year. So wait a minute. If their sales are actually shrinking year over year, that stock surge has to be about something way bigger than just one quarterly report.
And you'd be exactly right. See, smart investors weren't just looking at the last 3 months. They were looking at the entire foundation that Rivian spent all of 2025 building. The real story was about the massive operational progress they made, the kind of progress that points to real long-term health for the company.
And this progress, it really boils down to two huge things they pulled off in 2025. First, they managed to increase the average price they sold each truck for by $5,500. At the exact same time, they slashed the cost of goods sold, basically what it cost to build each vehicle, by an incredible $9,500. I mean, that is a gigantic swing in the right direction.
And just so we're all on the same page, COGS is everything. It's the metal, the batteries, the computer chips, and the paychecks for the people on the assembly line putting it all together. For any car company, getting that number under control is literally a matter of survival.
So, what was the result of all that hard work? A truly major milestone. Thanks to those improvements we just saw, 2025 became the first full year in Rivian's entire history that they actually had a positive gross profit. In simple terms, they finally proved they could build their trucks and sell them for more than it cost to make them. That's a huge deal. But fixing the finances was just step one. What really has investors buzzing is what Rivian is planning to build on top of that stronger foundation. So let's talk about the R2, the company's first shot at the mass market, and what a lot of people are calling Rivian's potential Model 3 moment. And you don't have to take my word for it. The opportunity is laid out perfectly right here by the CEO, RJ Scaringe. He basically says, hey, if you're looking for a great new EV in the US for around 50 grand or less, your options are shockingly limited. And he's right. It's this massive, wide open space in the market that Rivian is aiming for like a laser beam.
And this is the machine they're bringing to that fight, the R2. We're talking a starting price around $45,000. It's got a dual-motor, all-wheel drive system kicking out over 650 horsepower, and it gets over 300 miles of range. And here's the kicker. With delivery slated for mid-2026, this isn't some far-off concept car. This thing is right around the corner.
Okay, but let's be real. Progress like this, pivoting from a high-end niche brand to a mass-market giant, it doesn't come cheap. In fact, it's an incredibly expensive and difficult move that comes with some very real, very serious short-term pain. And here's the bill. For 2026, Rivian is telling everyone, straight up, that they expect to lose up to $2.1 billion. And on top of that, they're planning to spend another $2 billion on things like retooling their factories to build the R2. It is just a year of massive, massive spending.
Which, of course, brings us right back to our central mystery. If the company is openly broadcasting that they're going to burn through billions of dollars, why in the world would the stock jump 26%? What's the secret? What does Wall Street see that we're missing?
Well, the secret is that you have to stop seeing Rivian as just a car company, because investors are betting on their secret weapon, a powerful and, get this, already profitable business in technology, software, and partnerships.
Now, this might just be the most overlooked part of the entire Rivian story. The company already has a software and services division that's bringing in nearly $500 million per quarter. And look at this, the biggest chunk of that revenue, about 60%, comes from its joint venture with Volkswagen, who is paying to use Rivian's software and electrical architecture in their own cars.
And trust me, the ambition doesn't stop there. Rivian has a crystal-clear roadmap for its self-driving tech. They're already offering hands-free driving on millions of miles of roads. From there, they're moving to true point-to-point navigation, then to eyes-off highway driving, with the ultimate goal of Level 4 autonomy, where the car does pretty much all the work. This is about being an AI-driven tech platform, not just a car company.
So when you put it all together, the big picture snaps into focus. The market isn't just betting on Rivian selling a bunch of R2s. It's betting on two powerful growth stories wrapped up in one company: a fast-growing mass-market EV maker and a high-margin tech company that sells its platform to other giants in the auto industry.
So let's answer the question, why the 26% jump? It was a perfect storm, really. You had the new confidence from them proving they could be profitable in 2025. You had the massive potential of the R2 hitting a huge open market. And you had the hidden value of their software business already taking off. Wall Street was buying the whole story, that the billions in losses they see coming are just the price of admission for a much, much bigger reward later on.
And that really leaves us with the one question that will define Rivian for the next few years. They're asking for a lot of patience and a whole lot of money to make this vision a reality. So the question for everyone watching is simple. Is all of this short-term pain going to be worth the incredible long-term promise? Only time will tell.